Welcome back, everyone. My name is Chris, a recovering alcoholic, and you are listening to the Grateful Truce channel. Today we're going to talk about a topic near and dear to my heart. My spouse drinks as much as me. The truth about drinking buddies in love. What happens when the person you fell in love with over drinks becomes the person you cannot get sober with? When your favorite drinking buddy is also your spouse. This is one of the most painful and complex situations in recovery. If you're in it right now, you know the unique hell of being trapped between your love for a person and your need to save your own life. I know because I've lived it. Not once, but twice. It starts so beautifully, doesn't it? You connect over a shared joy. Concerts, the dance clubs, the lazy Sunday brunches, all the time you spend together, but there's a common theme: alcohol. The alcohol feels like the glue. It's the social lubricant. It's the celebration. It's the romance. It's what leads to the bedroom. You're on the same team, and this team knows how to have a really good time. You see some little signs early on. You missed Monday mornings. You might not go into work. You have some emotional swings. Of course, you have some hangovers together. You're also stagnant in your careers. You might be struggling with your finances. But hey, you brush this aside. You're in love. And this is just part of your story together. But slowly, the glue that's holding the relationship is now starting to splinter. And the more you try to pull it out, that splinter of alcohol, the deeper it will dig in. This thing that you had in common becomes the source of many arguments. The fun will fade, but the need to drink will not. You or your spouse might try to suggest, hey, let's take a weekend off. Or one of you might genuinely try to cut back. But without a real recovery plan, the beast, the drinking craving, will always come back. And now, it's not just your personal struggle. This is a war on the home front. The very foundation of your relationship, that shared habit, is now cracking under the weight of your addictions. And then comes the real crisis. One of you is going to hit a bottom. When this bottom comes, you're going to decide to get serious about sobriety. Maybe you're the one. Maybe it's them. This is where the real disconnect happens. The partner in recovery is going to start going to meetings, learning a new language of honesty and vulnerability. The partner who's still drinking most likely is not going to want to hear a word of this. They're going to feel judged, abandoned, incredibly defensive. The friction will be constant. You now have totally separate, different goals. One, at 6 p.m. on Friday, wants to go to a meeting. The other wants to go to the bar. One is trying to build a new life. The other is clinging on to the old one. The Bible tells us our bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit, and we are to honor God with them. Choosing sobriety is an act of honoring your temple. But when the spouse, whichever one, is still defiling theirs, it creates a spiritual chasm that can feel impossible to cross. I have many of my own experiences to share, but let me just talk about this one. I'll never forget being in rehab about 5 weeks in. My therapist had been gently suggesting for weeks that my marriage was built on a very toxic foundation and that there's a good chance it's not going to survive sobriety. I fought it. I denied it. And then, one day, the clarity hit me like a ton of bricks. It was about 5 weeks in. I raised my hand and said, "You're right. No matter how ugly this gets, I need to move forward without my wife. I need to choose my own life." Everyone in the room clapped. It's not because they were happy about a divorce, but because they saw a person choosing survival. I don't condone divorce. It's a horrific, painful process I would not wish on my worst enemy. But I have to be brutally honest in this area. If your marriage is built on a foundation of shared addiction, and only one of you wants to leave that addiction behind, the likelihood of your marriage surviving is slim. This isn't a message of hopelessness. It's a message of painful truth. In recovery, we ask questions to ourselves, and we hear this over and over in the rooms. What are you willing to do today to stay sober? What lengths will you go to? Sometimes, the most devastatingly difficult length is walking away from a relationship that is actively threatening your sobriety and your life. It's choosing yourself. It's choosing your relationship with Jesus. It's choosing your health, even when it feels like it's going to cost you everything. You are not alone in this impossible choice. If this is where you are, your first step isn't to fix your marriage. It's to secure your own sobriety. Get to a meeting, even if it's Friday at 6 p.m. Find a therapist if you can afford them. Build a support system. Save yourself. Make yourself the priority, because you can't save a drowning person if you're drowning right beside them. This is a journey that no one should walk alone. If you're facing this, share your strengths in the comments below. Your story could be a lifeline someone else needs. If this video resonates with you, please like and subscribe for more honest conversations about some of the hardest parts of recovery. I've been there, and God has asked me to share my journey with you. Choosing to save your own life is always the right choice. May God give you the strength and clarity on your path. Thank you for listening.